try this again here. Okay. Is there anything else you do? Anything else that they have in common? No. Okay, so what I'm going to do is any problem I have, I'm always going to look to see if I can factor something out. Okay, any problem I have. So looking at this particular problem. All right, what can I factor out?
2.
Okay, 2 is one thing. Is that the only thing?
4.
Okay, I can factor out a 4 because I want to pick the highest number they have in common. If I factored the 2 out, I'd have to factor out more. Okay, so at the very beginning, I want to pull the 4 out. Okay, it's not a big deal. If you don't get the highest number, it's like reducing a fraction and then reducing it again. You have to pull it out. Is there anything besides the 4? Okay, they have an M and they have an N in common. You have got to pull out everything they have in common. Then I go backwards. 4M plus 3N. Once I get to this point, I gotta look here again. Do they have anything in common? If I can say they still have something in common, I should have pulled out more. If they have nothing in common, then I've reduced it down. I've simplified it. I've factored it. Okay? We good on that? Okay. Next thing. Oh, that's a good one. Look again. Do they have anything in common? That's the first thing I always do. Have anything in common? Nothing. Okay, I can't factor anything out. So you go, okay, now what can I do? Anybody remember what you do when you have 4 terms, or 6 terms, or 8 terms, or 10 terms? What's it called?
Remember, it's where you separate them into 2 sets
Okay,
of parentheses.
it's called grouping. It's called grouping. I separate them into 2 sets of parentheses, and then I turn around and go, do they have anything in common in that particular set of parentheses? Do they have anything in common there?
B squared.
B squared, not just B, but B squared. Okay, then I factor. B minus 3. Would you agree with that? Okay, second set of parentheses. Do I have anything in common in that set of parentheses?
4.
I have a 4, so I factor out the 4, and I have a B minus 3. Now, if this truly factors well, not everything factors like this, but the ones that they give you in the book probably will, I look and I go, ding, ding, ding. The parenthesis is the same thing. So then I look at this as one term, and this is the second term. Now, what do those 2 terms have in common?
B minus 3.
B minus 3. So I factor out the B minus 3, and what I have left is B squared plus 4. A lot of times people don't think about factoring out that. They just go, oh, one set of parentheses is going to be what they have in common. The other set is going to be what's left on the outside. Okay? So I've got this. Can I factor that anymore? No, that's all I can do. That's simplifying it out. All right, let's do another one of these. Anytime you have 4 terms, that's what you're going to think about. Oh, there's a square there. All right. First thing I do all 4 terms have anything in common? No. So I can't pull anything out. Then I go, okay, 4 terms, I'm going to try and factor it. Okay, so I'm going to put parenthesis there, parenthesis there. That first term, have anything in common?
X.
X. So I'm going to pull the X out. I have A squared minus B squared. How about that second set? a squared minus b squared. Ah, the parenthesis matches. So now what I'm going to do?
A squared minus B squared plus,
It's not plus, it's times.
X
Okay,
plus Y.
x plus y. Am I done? Gotta look at that close. Difference of squares. Remember that? Difference of squares. That right there is the difference of squares. So what does that factor into? Do I remember anything about the difference of squares? It factors into x plus b times x minus b times x plus y. Now I've simplified it as far as I can go. Remember, I have to be able to take the square root of this, the square root of this, and it has to be subtraction. There is no such thing as the sum of squares. However, there is a difference of cubes and a sum of cubes, and we'll get to that in just a minute, okay? You with me? Okay. All right, let's do another one. So far, so good, right? Y'all remember all this stuff? All right. What about this one? I got 3 terms. Can't do grouping because I have an odd number of terms. Okay, so I can't do grouping. Is there anything that those 3 terms have in common? Nope. So I can't factor anything out. What do I do on this? Do you remember? 2 sets of parentheses, and basically I'm doing the opposite of FOIL. All right? And they can't all factor like this, but we're going to try this one and see, okay? It's kind of trial and error on this. What can I multiply together to get 7x? And I think that's supposed to be squared. It is. For some reason I put a cube there. Okay, what can I multiply together to get 7x squared?
7 and 1.
7 and 1, but I've got to put the x with it, okay? So 7x times x is 7x squared, okay? Remember, first is going to give me that. Then I skip over here to the last one. That's this spot and this spot. Now I got a couple choices here. To multiply 2 things together and get 4, I can do 4 and 1, or I can do 2 and 2. Okay, so let's try 4 and 1. Okay, let's say I did it like that. Then I do outside, and that's going to give me 7x. I do inside, that's going to give me 4x. Is there any way to add those 2 and get negative 16x? No. Okay, so I did something wrong on that. So let's say I put the 4 there and the 1 there. Outside, I get 28x. Inside, I get 1x. Any way to get negative 16 out of that? Nope, can't do it. So then I back up and I go, okay, 4 and 1, that must not do it. So my other choice is 2 and 2. Outside gives me 14x. Inside gives me 2x. Oh, can I get negative 16x out of this? Yes, if both of those are negative. So I put a minus there and a minus there. Oh, I remember this? But then after you've done that, always go back and make sure last works. So negative 2 times negative 2 is positive 4. Okay, you always want to double check your last because sometimes it messes up. Okay, let's do another one. Okay, just on a piece of scrap paper, see what you can do with this one. Okay, it's going to say simplify or factor, is what the instructions would say.